What up, my freaks? RuinouSinsight here with part 12 of my Total Warhammer 3 modded Belegar Ironhammer campaign. So as we saw last time, some great use of terrain by one of our armies saw it victorious against a massively superior Clan Moor's enemy. And this also gave us enough oath gold to be able to finally forge the Assault of Stone, or Scepter of Stone, as it is called, which will come in very handy for basically any army that is dealing with mass numbers, like this. Now this army belonging to Vomik shouldn't be any kind of trouble at all. In fact, I'm almost certain that we could probably send Constructor Morgrimel in by himself and give him something that makes him unbreakable, give him on Scepter of Stone and the Rune of Flight and the Rune of Spite, and he could take this army all by himself. Do we need to bother doing this though? I'm not entirely sure. I think we could just give him the stuff that we have quick access to. We haven't gotten any use out of the Scepter of Stone, for example, yet. The Hammer of Karak Eight Peaks, Glittering Scales, and I guess the Obsidian Amulet, because the enemy is a caster. Then we got ancillaries. Do we need to give you any ancillaries? Do we even need to bother with giving you runes? I guess we could give you the Stroller's Rune if we wanted to. No, why not? Let's give the Stroller's Rune. And that should be more than good enough. Honestly, I feel like the Scepter of Stone by itself will be sufficient here. Now let's go in, and let's kill this guy. I'm gonna try to do this fast, because frankly, we've already seen battles like this, and this is kind of a waste of time. And I'd really rather go on to more significant battles. I should say... Oh! This is actually auto-resolvable. Oh, even the auto-resolve knows that the enemy has no chance. Okay, you know what? I think considering we've already seen multiple battles of this variety, and it's only a single stack and it has no chance against this, let's face it, but we could just auto-resolve this. We have much better battles in the future, and we have Belegar to advance southward to fight actual proper Skaven stacks. So yeah, you know what, let's give you this just to increase the auto-resolve power a little bit. I don't know whether that actually works or not, but just in case, auto-resolve it please. And down goes the army. Another little win for Constructor Morgrimel there. 1,000 kills and nearly 1,000 on Alaric. Kind of interesting that the auto-resolve didn't attribute more to the Scepter of Stone. And just gave them equal amounts. Interesting. We get 31 oath gold, but for this I think we'll get Drink to Victory. We'll keep Constructor here for a few more turns after all. We'll give you Valea's Will as well, and you can stay there powering up the territory. And that'll put us into positive public order, which is quite necessary right now. And then we have to figure out, well, first of all, we don't need this stuff anymore. We were gonna use it, but I guess we don't need to. You can keep these things, though, because you're a constructor and you will probably be around Valea's willing places, as well as reducing construction costs. So now we have to figure out where each army is going to go. Alaric is probably going to be needed in the inevitable war against the Exiles of Khorne down here, and on top of that, you guys seem fairly fond of him in the comments, based on him being the King of Karak Eight, so we should probably keep him around. Even though the Ancestral Blood Valea is kind of meh, at least the ward save makes him a stronger duelist. Plus, let's face it, the full faceplate and the big old hammer looks pretty damn awesome. So yeah, you get bonus points for that, buddy. Also, kind of interesting that it says axe infantry for you, despite the fact that you have a hammer. Maybe you're supposed to have an axe, and I do believe there was a comment saying that the Lord is in fact supposed to have an axe. Ooh, you have a nice horns as well here. Huh, is your shoulder armor the same? Yes, I'm wasting time doing this now. The shoulder armor looks the same. This guy's horns are a little bit smaller, though. Alright, but I'm not going to waste too much time comparing the faceplates here. Now, Alaric, I'd love for you to move into Bitterstone, but you cannot do so right now. You'll move into their next turn. This also means that the Golden Order doesn't need to move towards that stupid little army. It's kind of interesting how successful the Skaven AI generally is, despite the fact that it builds these just piles of Skaven slaves and clan rats. And granted, the player can do a lot with the same sort of stuff, but, well, let's face it, the AI is not the player. Let's move Retinue in. We're gonna have Belegar attack the Sumpit in a second. We could also use Finbar to leech some XP if we wanted to. Do we want to leech some XP? Maybe. Why not? You move in here, Fimber. And we are going to make Fimber an army. He does have the ancestral blood of Morgrim, so the ammunition increase, plus he's got the vermin flail trait now. On top of that, that reminds me, there was another Thane that also had the ancestral blood of Morgrim, so we could combine the two for a plus 30% ammunition and army. Then, if we really wanted to, we could combine that further with the Venerate Grugni ability to give 130% ammunition for Dwarf Miners and Ironbreakers. This would give us a reason to build essentially an army that's based around tons and tons of blasting charges, and give us a reason to keep these miners rather than deleting them. And just build an army with lots of miners, Ironbreakers, and artillery. Maybe some Iron Drakes, something along those lines. And maybe some grenade-launching cavalry from our Golden Order allies as well. Oh yeah, I like that. I was enjoying my own idea here. Yes, we are going to do that. It's not going to be our full Engineer Thunderer army, that'll be a different army, which could also actually use the ammunition. But we could do Grimly Coral Seeker for that. Although, to be fair, the fact that his name is Coral Seeker makes me think that he should probably have Rangers and Quarrelers in his army. Though considering the buffs, we're probably just better off going straight Rangers at this point. They're a little bit more expensive, but frankly for stock and Vanguard deployment and the buffs that we get, including Vigorous, it's probably worth our time. Anyway, you. Belegar. Attack to some pit, please. Let's hope that you can get some free items for us. Income from buildings, yada yada, and oh right, we have to reassign the runes. If only I remembered which rune goes on who. Lichbone Pennant is gonna go on you. Stromny, I think, goes on you. Contact effect discouraged and fear, I think this goes on you, and then the rune of Grugni. Sign on character unit. Should probably go into the second line because we're trying to spread out the missile resistance. I'm pretty sure the Master Rune of Grugni gives missile resistance. 90% sure. We'll double check. Let's auto-resolve this real quick as well. Tiny bit of damage, but irrelevant, and we'll occupy it, which completes this entire territory. Lovely. And a free Ogre Blade. Yes, Retinue is already doing work. Well done, Retinue. And the plus 25 magical item drop. Swell. Brewmaster doesn't matter. What does matter is switching the commandment immediately. And hey, we get more money out of the Trinket Maker here. Though, frankly, the growth is going to be pretty necessary, and in fact, we'll switch to empower the guilds right away. Fimber, you're going back to Karak Belegar Alas didn't level from that, but that's okay. And we will also, let's get you Thori Dragonslayer in here. Ancestral Blood Morgrim. And we're out of Thanes, alas, but oh well. He'll fit right in, I'm sure. Everybody has a Thane following them, other than Recruiter Scath Hogmog, who is a recruiter and thus doesn't need it. He's a strong, independent recruiter, and he don't need no Thane. Next up, we have to spend some cash. Now, we could do the Goat Herd here, or, you can move into Karak Angazar, yeah? Alrighty, if we move you into Karak Angazar, like so, okay. It'll screw up the public order a little bit once you leave the territory. It's a swing by 2, though. Then, and we can get some stuff here cheaper. Both Karak Angazar and Matorka need to be built up. I think Matorka's more under threat, but it's also a yellow territory, in which will take it longer to build up. And slightly more expensive, but nonetheless we need to do both, and we might as well start it off. Let's get the salt up and running. Damn, that's expensive. Okay, let's go with the Goat Herd instead. Recruitment cost for Dwarf Black Powder, Fire-based, and Gyrocopter units. Well, that's great, because we do have a Engineer's Workshop. We'll need to build the Gunsmith, or whatever the Dwarfen equivalent is here. Siege Workshop. I guess an Akendorf as well. Since we have the salt here, we may as well make that our Black Powder hub. Alrighty, well, let's get the extra growth here. It's definitely gonna come in handy, and that's all the money we have right now. You cannot switch to Valea's Wisdom, alas. I think we get more money. Oh, wow, by 2. Oh, I wanted to move you in to get a little bit more cash there, but that's okay. If you move here, would this place be able to collect income? We're at -7. So wait, we're currently at 52, so we're already negative. If we don't collect income for a turn, though, we'll go positive again. As in into the next level, which will mean... Yeah, fine, don't collect the income, I guess. Alrighty. Let's see, anything else that we need to do? Anybody else need to move? We could get that engineer in one of our armies, but I think we probably want to save the cash. I'm not actually sure we can afford said engineer right now. We can also get back our techs, because we didn't unfortunately acquire any new students, but that's okay. And now we need to find a proper stack to fight. This is not proper, but I'm sure that one of these places is going to be nicely garrisoned with a full stack. And at the end of the day, Nagashazar is also nearby, so we can always go down there. How many territories does Moors actually have? And they've got 5, so let's see what we're looking at here. 1, 2, 3, and then Misty Mountain is their home, which Belegar will have a battle at, and I guess Krad Toman as well. So they're all in the same location, which is great. As in, one of them's not like super far away somewhere because they confederated some minor faction. That can get fairly annoying. Alrighty, Alaric, I guess you're gonna stay here. You can recruit some dwarf warriors and whatnot as part of your army. You will need to hold off the various Khornate forces as well. Also, I'm absolutely loving the debate in the comments between the various venerations for Belegar in particular. I'm still personally leaning Smednir, but I haven't completely decided yet. There have been some good points either way. Grimnir is always active, but the problem is, most of the time melee attack will do absolutely nothing for us because the rangers won't be in melee combat. And missile resistance 5% isn't bad, but we do have gold shields on top of actual missile resistance on these units. Plus, it is fairly easy to acquire physical resistance on other enemy units. So we are going to see it. For example, you, Assassin, you have 30%. Yeah. Well, the clan rats don't, but the assassin does, and I know for a fact that Khornate warriors do as well. Their regular warriors also have some physical resistance. Not just the demons, but the Chaos Warriors of Khorne, which makes me think that regular Chaos Warriors of Khorne probably do as well. I think there is a trait in the line of every lord that gives Khornate warriors, or gives warriors extra physical resistance. So it's something to think about. Anyway, we can skip the rest of that unless I'm mistaken and go next turn, try to find ourselves a proper battle. We also got to get these grudges cleared out. We're very near to the next level. We're about to get irked here. Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to risk moving Grimly Quarrel Seeker into Lucchini here. I don't see much of a choice in the matter. Just to raid the place to try to complete some of our quests. Alright, well. Oh, we could try to do the same thing with Fimber. I hadn't considered that. Hopefully he can actually move in. How far can you move? I wonder. You know what, Fimber, go right outside Karak Azul. I'm hoping that this isn't a terrible idea and you get ambushed and insta-killed. It would be unfortunate if you did. This guy can probably reach you. If he lucks out with an ambush, well, too bad for us, I guess. Yeah, Retinue, move in here. Because here's what I'm thinking. Belegar can't reach Spike Peak in one go, right? So he'll have to move here. If he can't raid the place, if he can't actually reach it and raid it, then we'll have to have Fimber do it. Although, actually, we need, what, 25% to raid? Or income? We should be able to reach this, I think. That looks like less than 25%. Nah, I think we're fine. Fimber, back in. Let's keep you safe, buddy. We're actually going to use you as a lord, so I don't want to risk it right now. Alrighty, end the turn and go next. Let's see about those Skaven. Where are they going to go? What they going to do? Where are they going to defend, more importantly? And oh! Huh. He jumped over to Karak Eight Peaks. Well, that's funny. Good for him, I guess. It's not gonna work, but good for him. You want a military alliance? That's great, but I'd rather confederation, so we'll wait on that there, Thorgrim. Hopefully Karazakarak isn't under siege. You better not lose it. Belegar's already retaken 8 Peaks and Draj to some degree. Don't make him have to retake Kazakit-HA as well. You'll get much a grumbling for that. Alrighty, what is this? Empire in Flames. The manlings of Sigmar come pleading to us once again. They have witnessed our devastating flame weapons and beg that we share the secrets to this technology, as we once did with black powder. Give them fire. Umgir are not the real enemy. If we share our advances with allies, then this will be for the benefit of all. This is it? It's just literally give them get some free diplomatic relations, or don't get some free diplomatic relations? What a weird choice. Unless there's like something that goes after this. Maybe they have some horrific accident or something. I don't know, give them fire. Alrighty, and trait gain disciplinarian, control +1, great for you. Can you raid this? Let's find out. You, scout those ruins. Oh, the expense though. The terrible expense. Can Belegar reduce it maybe? Move into raiding right here. Because you can't reach the place, right? Yeah. Alright, so move into raiding right here in Spite Peak. And does this reduce your... It does not. Man, so expensive. Alright, this will allow Belegar to raid and complete that grudge. You... Are you really headed for Karak Eight Peaks? There's no way. There's absolutely no way you can take it. I'm actually curious as to see what this guy's gonna do here. Is he just gonna sit there and raid it to annoy us? It's very possible that that's what he'll do. We could send Copperpot to deal with him. And the only problem is I wanted to send Copperpot to Crooked Fang Fort, especially to raid Crooked Fang Fort. Oh, where are you going, Helmet? To Dringo Karaz. No, these are our territories. Why are you even here? And get the heck out. Go do something useful up there. Go fight the Skaven or something. Or the Undead. You should really go fight them. Well, either way, you can stay in Valea's Sorrow, I guess, but let's do one more turn of it and then jump next turn. We are starting to go positive in public order, though. And, oh, that reminds me, what I forgot to do is turn your commandment back to... I guess venerate the ancestors for a little while. Until we get control. We're also going to need the watch room here. Alright, you go here, you stay in Valea's Will. Ooh, in fact, maybe you go into Valea's Will as well. Ah, we can't switch stances anymore. It's okay. Alright, let's build the defenses here. I have a feeling this place is going to be attacked sooner rather than later. Then you, my friend, can go into Valea's Will as well. You can start collecting income again. -1, eh? Close. Close to positive. And that, wow, that's with Venerate the Ancestors. Yeah, we need public order in this territory. This place is now good with Venerate the Ancestors, mind you. And then same with this place. I'll let them all grow positive, I guess. We'll need to build something here, but I guess we won't be doing that right now because we out of cash. And we need to acquire it. And oh, our Crooked Moon now fighting Barak Var, that's lovely. We were trying to get them to join a war earlier and they didn't want to do so. Alright, Constructor, you are good. Recruiter, you are not recruiting at the current time. You are going to... Well, I was actually going to put you in Valea's Will, but I'm a little bit worried that this guy can actually reach you and catch you out here, so maybe stay in Black Iron Mine for now. You do have a point available to you, though. Does any of this help you with recruiting? It does not. It does help you with construction, but your purpose is to recruit. Although, to be honest, you don't actually reduce the recruitment cost by all that much. And considering your upkeep at 360, I'm not entirely sure whether that's a good idea, as in to keep you here. Well, let's get the Rune of Wrath and Ruin for now. I'm thinking we're gonna delete you. The only thing I'm concerned about right now is also the fact that that Tretch, that Clan Rictus might come down here, and Black Iron Mine's our most vulnerable place, and a Runesmith can certainly defend it. We could also send Fimber up there instead. Karak Azul is much more likely to hold than Black Iron Mine is. And does he have the Rune of Wrath and Ruin, though? He does not. We can get him the Rune of Speed, but he'll need to level up again before he has the good rune. TM. Also, Thane, you are going to join this army. We'll give you Blade Master immediately, but you were supposed to be part of this, and part of this ye shall be. Alright, I guess we're just gonna leave Mechanigear here. Is this these guys' last territory? No, they actually have 2. Oh my. And we still need to raid them, though. It doesn't change that situation. And I'm still not sure whether this guy can actually reach us at Valea's Sorrow. And we could try to ambush stance and move towards him. But then these guys might attack Valea's Sorrow. Ugh, the annoyance. What will they do? I really don't like wasting a turn, but let's go into ambush stance, go right here, and then hope that this guy moves towards Valea's Sorrow, or rather than Karak Eight Peaks, or this guy does, and the ambush does something for us. I run into the Desolation of Nagash, are we? Oh, he could also jump back up to Sump Pit, which might mean we need to send Fimbur to defend it. Ah, the Skaven and their million armies. It's gonna get annoying, and it's probably gonna get more annoying before it gets less annoying. And let's do diplomacy, or let's double check diplomacy. Western provinces are nearly ready for non-aggression. What if we join your war against the Center Lords? No. You'd do it for a war against Grimgor, I'm sure. I was gonna save that for the trade agreement, but frankly, Grimgor is fairly far from us. And we're inevitably going to be fighting him, let's face it. You know what, let's do this for the non-aggression. It'll just mean more friendliness, and then hopefully that trade agreement sooner. This will give us a little bit of cash for it. Alrighty, anything else? Talabekland, nearly to a non-aggression. We can ignore you. Western provinces, you still need our trade. Telia, Zufbar, Berekvar, and Karazakara getting closer to various alliances. Ah! Zufbar. Well. You're ready for a Confed. The question is, do we do this? Is this actually a good idea right now? So the problem with this is the fact that we'll go negative public order again, and while Karak Dromar and Zufbar both look reasonably defensible, we probably wouldn't have a stack here. You know what, maybe we wait a turn or two. We'll see if they're still willing to go into Confederation afterwards. But I'd rather possibly wait. After all those public order problems that forced us to not collect income, I don't see us wanting to do that again right now. So, let's skip the Garrison Lord not move, the unassigned skill points, etc. And then let's go next turn, shall we? Yeah, keep Recruiter has Scaff for at least a turn or so. Unassigned skill points, that's fine. Building upgrade available... What building upgrade? Oh, we can upgrade Bitterstone Mine. Yeah, let's do it. I'm glad I looked there. Alright, and we get more control. Actually, once we get to High King's Authority, that'll probably be the best place to then pop that Confed. Alright, next. I'm very curious to see what Mechanigear will do. Maybe these guys will attack us with like 5 armies. Nope, they will not. And Mechanigear is going to move down to where perhaps Gradnar can reach him. Our grudge should be fulfilled as Belegar will have raided whatever this place is called. And maybe we can get a nice little battle with Gradnar.
I am Belegar.
Alright, defensive alliance with Telia. Is there any purpose to this? They're going to die. All they're going to do is get us into more fights. I don't see the need. Grudge removed. Lovely. We get Raise the Banners, which is recruitment cost and a little bit of Oath Gold. Scheme of Doom, Perform Clan Morso. That's frightening. Carcassonne has been destroyed. Okay, that's not as great. Karakanor has been destroyed. We predicted that. And hello. If it isn't the Doom Engineer, I hate you. Cazador Dragon Slayer ready for duty, alright. Diplomatic relations with Dwarfs and control. And a new grudge, okay. Win 3 battles against Greenskins. Based on what? Beheld in Grimnir's seething sight, Bugman's Brewery was once the greatest of all brewhouses, where the fabled Bugman's XXXXX was created, a few casks of which still exist. but it all ended when the Groby fell upon the fortified brewery, enslaving and killing the Bugman clan, and worst of all, drinking the ale. Yeah, worst of all. I like how that's worse than killing the Bugman clan. Such an atrocity is a grudge that can never be truly settled. Go and slay the Greenskins to salve this open wound. I still find this greatly amusing. Stonemason for free, great. Alaric, you are going to go into Valea's Will. Reduces our income, but nah, it's fine. It's fine for now, anyway. We could also build a Tinkerer's shop here, but I think we can't do so right now. You! Are you able to go after this guy? Will he fight, I guess, is the question. I imagine not against the full stack. We also, however, need to try to go after you, Toxiden. 17? Wow, you are not gonna succeed at assassinating him. 12. It's a level 1 versus a level 1. Come on, guys, what are you doing? Well, give it a try. And I'm disinclined to waste so much gold. Watch this guy just die trying this. Well, he just failed. Ah, what's this guy gonna explode? You gotta hate those things. But what can you do? Let's move you into Spite Peak. We should be able to auto-resolve this. But not that battle. Alright, you take this out, please. Yeah, a little tiny bit of damage, but once again inconsequential. Occupy the place. Lovely. Hey, Dwarf Bride. Income from buildings plus 10% ranked up after winning 6 or more offensive battles. Hey, and we got another one of these archivists. And win 5 battles against Clan Moors, grudge removed. Alright, we're still reasonably satisfied. And we got ourselves a little bit more oath gold. Which means we probably want to get another rune for our goblobbers here. Like a better rune. I mean, it's not using a rune at all, technically, right now, but, you know, a rune in general. Let's go with that. You are going to be tested shortly, my friend, but let us do... We want to do rune first? You know what? No, you want to attack first. I was going to do a little bit more admin, but frankly, battle. Battle has to take priority. X-Lord will buff miners. Yes, yes. As well as a bunch of other stuff. Or we could get another point in Rune of Wrath and Ruin. Let's get X-Lord. Well, let's see if this guy's willing to fight. And oh no, the Greenskins, we need to raid them. Ah, he's gonna run. You little filth. Alright, can you go back into ambush? You can, alrighty. He may not be able to fight this turn, but I'm 90% sure we'll be able to next turn. Maybe 90's a little bit steep, but we're a little bit high, but yeah. And we should be able to, hopefully. We'll see. You, do you want to try this as well? You do not. Now it's 0%, damn it. Oh, man. Okay. Well, either way, I think we have to get Recruiter's Scaff Hogmog out right now, although this is probably the best time to recruit, with Raise the Banners available. We can get some Bolt Throwers, if we really, really wanted to. There have been a few comments asking to test those. On the other hand, our Empire needs growth right now, and there's a bunch of buildings that we lack. And you still need to go much more positive. What are we at here, by the way? We're at minus 78. Okay, yeah, so that definitely needs a little bit of a hand. We're actually probably better off putting you back into this territory. Like so. And there is nothing to build here. Karak Hearn actually does need an upgrade to the next level, but it's too expensive for what we have right now. What do we build at Karak Azor? Considering we have this... We're not going to bother building the gate here, I think, because it's unlikely that anything short of 2 stacks will be able to take the place. It's probably going to have to be the Scrat Mine. We just plain need the money. And in fact, we're probably going to have to fill this place with Scrat Mines as well. I know that we have the Dwarf Tinkerer's shops everywhere, but we'll replace those in a bit. It's just that we essentially captured them as they are, so no reason to delete them. 8 Peaks, you're fine as you are. We could upgrade Valea's Sorrow for basically nothing. Yeah, fine. Let's upgrade Valea's Sorrow. It's a little bit of extra growth either way. And it'll be a little bit easier to defend when it inevitably gets attacked by something. Alrighty, and I'm going to risk it. And... 1 second. If you go to Sump Pit, or you could go to Black Iron Mine, but then nobody's there to defend Sump Pit. Oh, we really need to figure out this Morse thing. Okay, well, I guess we're going to sit there as we are. You can actually move, though, yes? We'd have to remove Alea's Will for a turn, but I think you want to jump to either Xerexil or close to it. Though, once again, the problem is these guys now have a full stack out there. Can't say I like that very much, but jump over the mountains and go here. We're gonna have to recruit a little bit with Grimly. If it wasn't for the fact that Khorne is probably going to go north, I would just send Alaric out there to reinforce with what he has, but obviously we can't do that right now. Anyway, Tex, you are going to High King's Authority, and I believe that's another end turn. I'm still very tempted to delete Scav here. He's costing us so much cash. You know what? We can always get him back later on. It's a lot of money for what is effectively nothing right now. I think the same thing sort of goes for Fimber, but we're actually going to build him an army eventually, so yeah, and he might actually have to reinforce a few places. Either Black Iron Mine or Sump Pit, though I suppose we probably won't see the enemies when they arrive there. Anyway, Garrison Lord not moved, unsigned skill points, heroes not moved. Irrelevant right now. End turn, and let's hope that we fight Mechanigear here. I'm not regretting auto-resolving that battle at the very start. I thought we'd have more fights. Gradnar, you've managed an underway interception against a pretty weak little force here. Doesn't seem worth fighting, honestly. There's nothing in here, it's just a bunch of clan rats. We could fight this manually if we really wanted to. And just to watch our artillery pieces go to work for a little bit. I guess we still have to work on Ska Bloodtail, which might take some effort. Yeah, you know what, fine. Let's fight this manually super quick. I'm hoping that we still get the other battle as well against Mechanigear. And frankly, we're probably going to switch the forces of Gradnar and Fimber anyway. Because I think the bonus to ammunition will be much better used on the various miners. And Ironbreakers, mind you. Though frankly, it's probably not going to be all that crazily significant. Though with a decent amount of engineers buffing that up further, maybe. Who knows? You guys are going to move... we're gonna have to somehow annoy the enemy towards us, aren't we? We can't really send anybody forward. Actually, we can. We can Vanguard deploy you up here, and we'll see if the enemy actually starts to move forward or not. And then you guys can be out front. We can fire the one unit of Thunderers through the gaps here. But honestly, it doesn't really matter that much what we do, because the enemy doesn't stand a chance. Alright, you guys back here then. And Warriors, you can create a main line in front, like so. Good enough. I guess you can be up front too. Try not to get killed. Alright, will the enemy move forward or will it just stand there? And it looks like they are indeed going to move forward. Alright, you are going to run, friendo. And I guess what we could do is move everybody but you up here to make good use of this little wall location. It does give the enemy some high ground, but meh. Once again, I don't believe it'll make much of a difference. Alright. Looks good to me. Minus who's going here? Oh, you two miners, you also don't need to be there, I guess. You can go behind this unit here. There we go. We'll have a very thick melee line. You guys. I think your position is actually reasonably decent in this situation. You'll fire up on top of the kill, and oh, right, the enemy is going to be spawning menace below. Though it doesn't look like it's actually using them where it can reach our grudge throwers, which seems like a waste. Alright, grudge throwers, away you go, and try to fire on this, and in fact, try to fire here. Alright, come on, right into that blob, please. There we go, not so bad. Get a few more volleys until these guys move out of the way. Very nice. The explosive ones coming in as well. The enemy's gonna summon more menaces below. Man, I still can't believe they haven't fixed that. Sometimes it's really decent with its use of menace below, and then other times it just does nothing with it. Well, whatever. Not our problem, it's a Skaven's problem. Alright, well, keep firing. I'm kind of inclined to switch it to actually fire at the ground again, but it seems like it's getting a few okay shots in there. Now we're gonna get hit with the warp lightning, but oh well. Probably could have actually gotten out of the way. Alright, how are we doing here? You guys want to target the warp grinders, maybe? We'll tell our ranged units to probably target the warp grinders. We'll probably need it. Also, you are not going to fire at anything like this, are you? Actually, can you get a shot on Ska there? Let's see how close you need to be to actually do so. Ah, move forward. Didn't really dodge that. Man, you really need to get really close to get that volley. Damn. And wait. The miners also needed to be really close. What the heck? Why would the miners? The miners can arc over stuff. That doesn't seem right. And the blasting charges didn't knock him over. It's kind of shocking. Okay, you Thunderers get away. You miners surround and kill him. Thunderers, thunder away. You go after the diggers there, and you two, or the warp grinders rather. Ah, you know what? You two can fire on different things now. And I guess we just watch the rest of this. Ooh, look at that. That looks like a great location for us to throw some satchel charges. In fact, you come here, and you come here as well. Now you can throw your satchel charges on these guys. Alrighty. Just minor levels of control. But we can still sort of watch this. And there we go. And check your satchel charges in the middle of all this. Probably going to hurt some of your own units, but it's okay. There we go. Those are some nice satchel charges right in the middle of that enemy formation. I have no idea what the heck is happening with the rest of our forces. You should also probably use a rune. Right there. Okay, that's going to kill like half the enemy army here in a single rune. Come on, get it in there. Here we go. Very nice. And absolutely disgusting at that. Alrighty, do you want to actually help out with anything, or do you want to just keep doing what you're doing? You're probably doing okay. Alright, satchel charges are no longer needed. Thunderers, you are being completely useless right now. You guys switch towards these units here. And you guys can target whatever you want. Lovely. Battle's nearly done as well. I do wonder how many of our own units will have gotten killed by our miners here. And while the catapults are doing a great job at hitting our own units here, you guys want to move forward? Forward please, forward please. You want to use a Rune of Oath and Steel? No, you don't have it, it's still on. Clear that. Okay, you know what? You guys are incompetent. And by you guys, I mean the catapults. I'm going to tell you to stop firing on our own units. Just for a few seconds. And these guys are still fighting. Alright. Difficult to control the battle when I'm trying to get shots of it at the same time. And hence the cinematic battles most of the time. But frankly, this was auto-resolvable. I just wanted to make sure that we could get a battle of some sort in this particular episode, just in case we couldn't find a proper one. Since all the enemies that are still alive seem rather weak. How are you guys doing? Ska's still fighting. Alright, you guys join in on this, I guess. Thunderers, thunder away. Get a nice volley in there into the backs of those clan rats, please. And there we go, very nice. And is Ska unbreakable? Oh, Ska's unbreakable. Okay, that makes sense. We need the great weapons here. Go help them. And let's get the Lord moving in as well. The rest of this should be able to hold itself, essentially. And you can pop a Rune of Speed on everybody here. And there you go. Alright, let's watch Ska do some damage. Damn, that's a big rat. Fighting over this little hill. He wants the high ground. I wonder if this is embarrassing for the dwarves to need that many to take down a single Skaven. I feel like they would be insulted if you at the prospect of having to do this. Also, our lord is okay. This guy needs a few more hits on him. He probably could have lined up the Thunderers to do some damage, and it does look like a few of them got a few nice shots. Anyway, there we go. Nice little decisive victory, gonna take some money. 176 losses though. Probably could have significantly reduced that by not constantly trying to get nice shots, but well, it just wasn't in me. Especially considering we've been having a difficult time finding a big enemy army to fight here. We still really do need to retrofit this army, however, or split it into two armies, depending on how we end up doing this. Alrighty, we can get Drink to Victory again, but we're going into enemy provinces, so this probably won't help us as much as the money will right now, and aha! There we go! Gradnar, now you're gonna have to fight for your survival. Alright, and this one we're doing cinematically. 2 full stacks, eh? Plus Liv leading it, and Chieftain, and they have a Rattling gun that we'll have to be wary of. Decent amount of Skaven Slave Slingers as well. Alright, this one may be a toughie. Here we go, exciting times.
For our ancestors!
Alrighty, well, let's see what you can do for your ancestors. This is going to be a toughie and hopefully a fun fight as well. I'm really regretting not putting that Assault of Stone scepter on this character, but who knew we were gonna get attacked like this? We've got about 8,000 Skaven against us and quite heavily outnumbered, though fortunately, on the bright side, it looks like they are not going to head directly towards us, which could actually work out fairly well, as it is going to allow us to take a superior position to the one that we started with. We are up on a hill, and we are trying to head towards these locations to make good use of these cliffside slash big old rocks and that are in the center, and obviously impassable terrain. If we can lock this down and possibly the edge here, then we're gonna be a lot better, especially as the miners with blasting charges will be able to throw over the heads of the rest of their troops. We got about 40 more seconds until the enemy reinforcements arrive and the second army moves in together with the rest. We are going to continue our bombardment with our grudge throwers, though I'm almost now thinking that maybe I should have stopped the bombardment just in case to try to not annoy this enemy blob, although clearly we are doing some damage here. Although I imagine that the explosive catapult is going to be doing a lot more damage, and then the non-explosive one, oh, this is actually what I wanted to do earlier, a comparison. We've got one grudge thrower that is explosive rune, and then one doesn't, and I think they've got similar, if not identical, veterancy as well, so it's going to be a direct comparison of their performance. Beautiful. If we survive, of course. Well, I guess it'll be a comparison of their performance regardless of whether we survive or not, as long as they both continue firing. Anyway, the bombardment proceeds apace, but the enemy is now on the field. We are drawing closer towards the ideal location, and still seems that the enemy isn't going to march forward as of yet. We've gotten, let's actually see the damage and kills on our grudge throwers at this point. We got 74 kills and 4k damage, and 150 kills and 10k damage on the explosive rune. So twice, a little bit over twice the performance at this point. Twice the kills and more than twice the damage, which I guess makes sense because of the explosions. Damn, that's a lot of rats. Oh man, one Assault of Stone, man, just one. Would have been really helpful here, though we do have the Rune of Wrath and Ruin. Also, this is probably what the dwarfs just constantly encounter. Just the sheer disparity in numbers and the endless hordes of Skaven. And I guess the greenskins are also kind of in that situation, but in this particular situation, it's Skaven o'clock. Now, they do have two somewhat frightening units, a set of warp grinders, which could move in and do a decent amount of damage, plus those rattling guns, which are also going to be a concern going in. We're going to try to snipe them if possible. The bombardment continues, although it looks like actually the non-explosive grudge thrower got the better shot that time around. But it does look like the enemy will allow us to get around and into position. Beautiful. We're also starting to move our lord down. Just want to cast that rune in a blob of enemies. If we can find one ideal spot to cast it in. Though there are several large blobs where we've got potential here. And there we go, finally, we found one, and here it comes, overcast, I believe. And decent explosion. Let's see what the damage is on this. We got 500 kills and 37k damage from a single use of that one rune. Oh, that was quite nice. That didn't actually look like it was 500 kills, but apparently it basically deleted somewhere between 4 and 5 units. Very nice. Or actually, depending on if it was Skaven slaves, because they have a lot more models at 280 in a unit, but still. It did well. There's a lot of damaged units out there, though I guess it's kind of hard to say which ones were damaged via our rune and which ones were damaged via our catapults. Anyway, it looks like that has made the enemy sufficiently angry and they are now moving up the hill, but we have the superior position once more, and not at the edge of the map either, so I'm happy with that as well. And the miners and the dwarf warriors are going to have to hold the ground both here in between these impassable terrain locations and here in the same sort of situation, though they could, in theory, walk around our flanks. We've also left our units of grudge throwers all the way back here rather than having them fire down. If we can get the enemy to just attack us here while our grudge throwers hit them in the sides, that would be pretty amazing. We did leave one unit of dwarf warriors to protect the grudge throwers just in case, but we'll see if that's sufficient. Really depends on how the AI reacts to this. Also, we're already at half ammunition, which is a little bit unfortunate, and I'm now a little bit regretting the bombardment. Perhaps it would have been better to not bombard at all and wait until we have more ammunition. Alrighty, looks like the rattling guns are firing away. I also see the assassin launching his powered up shuriken at us. But the ground is being held, if nothing else. And here come the blasting charges, amazing, right into those massive blobs of Skaven, and we got plenty more where that came from, and the grudge throwers, explosive grudge throwers into this absolutely horrifically huge mob. Damn. Bounce of power is still in their favor, but they've lost about 2,000 units already. We are still looking okay, but it's kind of hard to say because we came into the battle damaged, so I don't know how many units would have been destroyed by the Skaven versus how many units would have already started off being destroyed. Anyway, more blasting charges coming in. Arcing over the top of our miners, beautiful. And the same thing going on over on this side as well. It's exactly what I wanted to see. Look at all those blasting charges, the absolutely massive numbers of damage, seeing out those Skaven slaves and clan rats. The enemy's just now dropped by about another 2,000 or 1,500 troops or so. Now they're down to 5k. And the catapults are still firing. They're directly trying to bombard the biggest blobs of enemies that they can reach here and here at this point. The enemy lord has also moved through and is fighting in our main lines, and we have countered him with the dwarf warriors with great weapons because, well, we need them and their extra armor piercing to dish out the damage. Otherwise, it looks like our grudge throwers are doing absolutely amazing work, and same thing with our miners. And this is definitely what's making me think we want to make an army centered on explosives as well. Still, look at how many enemy units are still on the field, damn. And we're still gonna have to clear a lot of clan rats and Skaven slaves. I'm so glad we found this battle. And another set of blasting charges. We are starting to run out of ammunition at this point on the blasting charges at the very least. We got one more unit of miners here, and that's moving towards this particular location with a 3/4 set of blasting charges. And then these two miners have been holding back a little bit in the hopes that these guys reform into another blob. We do still have enemy reinforcements that will move onto the field, however, as the enemy is nowhere near done. And we have plenty more Skaven to clear. Alrighty, here come those additional miners, getting ready for additional blasting charges as well. Grimnir does demand death. And I think Grimnir's getting something close to his fill this day. Ah, there's those warp grinders. I think they decided to attack our lord, and they are also damaging our miners. Here, there's that warp quake coming down on us. And the Warp Storm Scorch is also reducing our armor. Unfortunate for us. However, that's not going to stop the miners from chucking their blasting charges and getting another absolutely massive volley into the enemy, followed up by explosive rune catapults and even more blasting charges being thrown. Enemies down to 3,000 out of 9,000 troops now. And it looks like at least some of them are moving away. Of course, you do have to rout the Skaven and then chase them off. Also, those Rattling guns got sniped by our unit of Thunderers and our unit of Quarrelers, who are now switched and targeting the enemy Skaven Slave Slingers. Of course, the Skaven Slave Slingers still somewhat dangerous to our miners, even if not as dangerous to our warriors, though to be fair, in huge numbers, and they're still dangerous even to the warriors. Miners still look like they have a little bit in the way of ammunition, but we're basically done with all the ammo. Though fortunately, our grudge throwers are still throwing. Not for long, though. And the balance of power is still about 60% in our favor, so I do expect more rats will come back. And this is one of the good things about moving out of your territory with an army that is hurt. The AI is much more likely and willing to try to attack it, and thus give you a great battle. And it looks like the enemy lord has finally been seen off, having taken attacks from the dwarf warriors this entire battle. With the great weapons, I mean, and now we're just going to snipe him by shooting him in the back with both our Thunderers as well as our Quarrelers. Gotta get that additional morale shock from him dying rather than just him running away. Q volley, please. Q volley, please. Thank you. And down he goes. Alrighty, well, and that's one. There's still an assassin fighting, and it looks like some of our miners are routing off the field, but that appears to be sufficient. And with the death of the enemy lord, so does the rest of the army, and decide to run away. Next up, we're going to gun down this chieftain, which is also looking to try to run away. Fortunately, we do still have ammunition both on the Thunderers and the Quarrelers, though it does look like our grudge throwers are out. Ideally, we'd love to snipe both the assassin and the chieftain, though I'm no longer sure that's possible. The chieftain's done, switching to the assassin, and yeah, he's gonna run out of range, isn't he? But oh well. Oh, that's fine. If we got a decent amount, that certainly works. Both the chieftain and the warlord. I mean, the master assassin, hopefully, not as big of a deal. Man. I wonder how many troops we lost there. We actually did pretty good, I think. 1,000 troops remaining out of 1,700, though of course we started off hurt, so who knows how many actually died. I guess we're about to find out. Of course, a very solid amount of the enemy is going to remain alive here, and they're just going to get off the map and retreat and live to fight another day, because we have absolutely no way of catching them. A close victory, but what a frickin' battle. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I was grinning ear to ear for that entire battle. That was everything I wanted out of a Skaven battle. Just the holding the ground against absolutely ridiculously overwhelming odds in terms of numbers. Our 1,300 units against their 7.6k of Skaven. Our grudge throwers ran out of ammunition. And, ooh, this is also a pretty good showcase. Look at the difference the explosive rune makes. Both of these grudge throwers are a tier 3, except the one with the explosive rune got 3 times as many kills and 3 times as many damage. Pretty darn big difference there. Looks like the Quarrelers actually did better than the Thunderers, but the Thunderers' thundering is wasted, generally speaking, against the unarmored clan rats and the and Skaven slaves, so that's hardly surprising that the Quarrelers would do better in that particular situation. All of those miners and their blasting charges, and another reason why I don't want to delete them. 50,000 damage on one of those units of miners, more double that of the non-runed up grudge thrower. And very nice, and only 40k on Gradnar, but to be fair, his cooldown on that overcast rune took forever. So yeah, hardly surprising. We're gonna have to take the Oath Gold for that. I think 129 is too much to pass up. Too bad we can't heal, but anyway. Oh, that was so damn fun. And there I was worried we wouldn't be able to find a good battle this episode. Alrighty, well, we have, Balthazar, Gelt himself has come out to play, and I see he doesn't have enough of a level to, military alliance, eh? Is that a good idea right now? With Averland, what's the likelihood that Durthu attacks Averland? Durthu doesn't like Averland for treaties with us. Well, thanks. Thanks, guys. And then the same thing goes for you. I have to wonder whether these guys will then hate us for treaties with Averland. On the other hand, we are already defensive allies, so we already do get bonuses from allegiance from them, though we could get more. Generally speaking, it'll make us a little bit more powerful from the AI's perspective, but it won't actually do any... I mean, it's not like these guys are going to move out to help us or anything. Also, Averland is looking pretty good. They've moved into Stirland. For whatever reason, the map is all twisted around. Though they do look like they're having a little bit of a tough time with Vladdy Daddy. You know what? I'm going to hold off on this for now. It's tempting, but I'm going to hold off. Maybe later, Averland. And there's certainly potential there, don't get me wrong. Anyway, there we go. That's the end of that turn. Some enemies killed in battle. A free Razor standard for us. You know what would have really helped in that battle? The frickin' Assault of Stone Scepter that we got. Oh well. We shall deal with that. Next up, I guess, well, actually, we're out of time, so I'm gonna call it here, but we'll destroy the remnants of Stunkrich's army next turn, then move down to Dringo Karaz, hopefully, and before Gelti does. Though, I do wonder, if we go after Stunkrich, will we still be able to go after Dringo Karaz? We may not want to risk it. I'll have to give that some thought. Otherwise, Spite Peak or Belegar could move to Dringo Karaz himself, though it would be nice to just jump to Desolation of Nagash and then move down here, burn the rats out of this particular nest as well, and then just converge on Krad Tommen and Misty Mountain to destroy them for good, and hopefully find Queek. We can't destroy the faction until we get Vermin Flail rather, on Belegar, although Vermin Flayer may be a better title for Belegar. Anyway, calling it here. Next time, plenty more Clan Morse fights by the looks of it, and we will have to prepare for some more fights with the dead, as they are still running around back here. They do have a nice full stack, and Grimley needs his own stack in order to be able to counter them. We'll probably have to at least briefly switch Zarek to Masters of Steel and Stone in order to recruit, and hopefully get a decent amount of an army up and running, and before they come to us. And hopefully they don't come down here as well. Again, I mean. Because they did before, and I think it was Maggie that actually was the one that did it as well, which has me somewhat concerned, as she may want revenge. But anyway, all that next time. Stay tuned for more Angrund. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. and thanks for watching.